Wodak study. I don't know her.
Ruth Wodak?
Yes.
I know her.
Really?
Yes. Ruth Wodak was born in 12 July 1950 in London, United Kingdom. She is an Austrian linguist who holds the position of Emeritus Distinguished Professor and Chair in Discourse Studies in the Department of Linguistics and English Language at Lancaster University, as well as Professor of Linguistics at the University of Vienna. So, Ruth Wodak is a renowned linguist and a leading figure in the field of critical discourse analysis (CDA).
Her work is highly significant for its focus on the intricate relationships between language, ideology, and power. Wodak is best known for developing the discourse historical approach (DHA), a multi-dimensional method for analyzing discourse in its historical, social, and also political context. Through her research, she has shed light on how language is used to construct and sustain power structures, shape public opinion, and influence social identities. For example, in her analysis of far-right populist discourse, particularly in her book The Politics of Fear, What Right-Wing Populist Discourses Mean 2015, Wodak examines how political leaders use language to construct us versus them narratives.
So, her contributions have been instrumental in understanding societal power dynamics, particularly in media, politics, and institutional communication, making her work indispensable in contemporary discourse studies.
Oh, now I understand a little bit, but I think I want to know more about her.
I think if you want to know more and dig deeper about her, you can watch this video.
Oh, let's watch it.
So as we can see, there are a few key aspects of Ruth Wodak's approach, and one of them is language, ideology, and power. So, what is when we're talking about language, ideology, and power, it is that Ruth Wodak's approach using language as a power tool to enhance the position or the dominance. This can be seen in dominant social groups such as the elite politicians, corporate elites, and those that are using language as a power to enhance and to strengthen their dominance. What this means is that they are using the language itself as a tool to employ, to use it against others, to enhance their strength, to enhance their position, and to embrace their dominance and to legitimize their position as a dominant group. When we're talking about Malaysian political context, in Malaysia, the political system has long been influenced by the Malay identity and Islam as their official religion. This, however, influenced the dominant social group and influenced Malaysian policies, as it has been dominated by only one groups only, and that is the Malay and the Muslim. For example, political context, the political party of PAS. PAS has long been using this language as a rhetoric and has been shaping using language as religious things, and has been shaping public opinion, and has been shaping policies using the language as a tool to enhance their position and to enhance their identity using the language itself, and hence it has been proven to be a success for them, as many voters are voting for PAS.
Moving on to the key aspect, which is discourse as a social practice that reflects and shapes society structures. So social norms are shaped by discourse, which also either support or undermine established power systems. In political speeches, for instance, that immigrants are frequently framed as threats or burdens, reflecting broader ideological positions or nationalism. Wodak's examination of Austrian political language reveals the ways in which right-wing parties legitimate exclusionary beliefs through linguistics approaches.
As we can see in her book, The Discursive Construction of National Identity 2009, Wodak analyzed about the Austrian parliamentary, showing how politicians use metaphors and rhetorical strategies in order to construct immigrants as others who treated national unity and culture purity.
Wodak emphasized that language is not neutral and deeply embedded in power and ideology. So Ruth Wada emphasized that language is not neutral because language always carries meanings, values and ideologies that reflect the power structures within a society. So according to Wada, language is not simply a tool for communication, but it is shaped by and intershapes social relations, power dynamics and ideologies. When Wada argues that language is deeply embedded in power and ideology, she means that language both reflects and sustains the power relations in society, and these power structures influence how language is used, understood and interpreted.
Language shapes reality, so the words influence how we perceive things. For example, like the words activists versus rioters. Language reflects ideologies, so language spreads beliefs. For example, like calling welfare recipients as cheats. Next is language supports power, so those that have power, they use language in order to control others. Next is language creates division, so the words can divide groups. For example, like hardworking citizens versus lazy immigrants. Language hides power, so complex language can obscure who benefits, making it hard to challenge an unfair system.
Next, the historical context. Ruth Wada has been saying and emphasizing many times that historical context plays a role in influencing the way language has been interpreted by the events such as wars, revolutions and whatnot.
Discourse historical approach (DHA) emphasized the integration of linguistic analysis with historical and social political context to uncover how discourse shapes and reflects societal power relations, ideologies and identities. So these are the few examples from Wada's work. So in post-war Austria, Wada examines how historical events such as Holocaust shape contemporary discourse. This is an example of using DHA or discourse historical approach. In her analysis of anti-Semitic discourse, she identifies how euphemisms and indirect references are used in political speeches to avoid direct acknowledgement of Austria's complicity in Nazi crimes. So this avoidance strategy not only reflects the historical denial, but also perpetuates ideologies that resist accountability. For instance, Wada highlights the use of terms like unfortunate past events instead of Holocaust, which downplays historical atrocities. This subtle manipulation of manipulation of language illustrates how historical context influence and shapes ideologies embedded in discourse.
There are a few clear examples to support the explanations that has been given previously. The first one is media. Wada's approach can be applied to analyze the news reports, advertisements in relations to reinforce and to challenge the societal norms. For example, the portrayal of religion in Malaysia heavily influences the media due to its role in social norms. In Malaysia, the way religion is portrayed is heavily influenced by the media due to its role in molding the country's identity and its social norms. The representations of Islam in news and advertisements reinforce the dominance of Islamic. For example, media coverage events during Ramadan frames this as key national celebrations, whereas the Muslim leaders and other religious figures often come up as leading the national values and practices. Advertisements of the products focuses on family values, faith, as it emphasizes on being generous. Next, politics. Wada's approach can be used to examine how politicians use language to frame the issues, to legitimize their power, and also to marginalize their opponents. Politicians often use language to discredit their oppositions by framing them. This tactic serves to discredit the opposition as it frames them to be a threat in national unity. For example, in Malaysia, the opposition figures whoever challenged the coalition, especially from the Pakatan Harapan back then in 2018, are often portrayed as anti-Malay and anti-Islam. This of course occurs in the general elections of 2018 where accusations were made against the Pakatan Harapan Party as they are aligned with Democratic Action Party, which is DAP, which are mostly Chinese and non-Malays.
In Malaysian context, we can see that Malay language is frequently used in the classroom, textbooks, and any assessment, which are disadvantages for non-Malay students. This shows that language maintains the socio-economic injustice.
Now I know. I understand a lot about Rohwadak, her contributions, her field of study, and a lot more.
Wow. Now you know, right?
Yeah, thank you so much for telling me. There's a lot of things that I can conclude from my understanding, which is first, about her approach to language and power. Ruth Wodak's approach to understanding language, ideology, and power remains a cornerstone in contemporary studies of discourse. And by highlighting the role of language as a tool for legitimizing dominance, shaping ideologies, and reflecting societal structures, her work sheds light on the intricate relationship between discourse and power. Her insistence on contextualizing language historically enriches the analysis and demonstrating how events like wars, revolution, and colonialism frame ideologies and influence discourse.
Wodak's emphasis on the non-neutrality of language underscores its capacity to perpetuate or challenge societal norms, whether through media representation or political rhetoric. Through her framework, we see how media outlets may reinforce biases or stereotypes while politicians use strategic language to frame issues, legitimize authority, and marginalize opposition.
And I also know why Wodak's work remains important for understanding language and power in contemporary society, which is because Wodak's approach remains highly relevant in today's globalized, interconnected world. In media, her insights reveal the subtle power dynamics in news training, advertisement, and the portrayal of cultural or religious ideologies. For instance, in a country like Malaysia, where religion plays a significant role in societal norms, the analysis of media language can uncover how certain groups or ideologies are privileged over others.
In politics, her framework provides a lens to examine how language is wielded as a tool for persuasion, manipulation, and power consolidation. Politicians' ability to craft narratives that resonate with the public while discrediting opponents showcases the ongoing interplay between language and power. Understanding this dynamic enables scholars and citizens to remain critical of the messages presented to them.
All of this information that I have gained today, I can finally understand deeper about discourse, and this knowledge can help me to continue my research in my FYP.